we can no longer just sit and wait for transformation. I'm not saying that we can always predict the next crisis, but we can prepare and act. We can no longer have data that is passive.
The current situation proves that companies with agile processes have significant competitive advantages.
So yes, the topic today is turning the digital switch, because I think a lot of things have happened in the last 12 months. We didn't see it coming, this pandemic. Many people refer to the pandemic as a black swan event, from, of course, Nassim Taleb's famous book, Black Swan, where he attributes that to sort of a disruptive large event that has potentially severe consequences. Many people speak about a K-shaped economy after this, which means that there are going to be some winners that will benefit from this and some less fortunate ones that will continue to struggle. And what differentiates those two is those companies that have made what I would refer to as the digital switch. In fact, it's two switches. So let me walk through those quickly with you. The first one is that we need to react to what is going on right now and in the future as well. You can do that through essentially transforming your infrastructure, transforming your applications, and most important, transform the data flows so that they are up to date and flow through a system and where you're capturing multiple data sets in multiple different places and also do the analysis. That's the first piece. Then you can start focusing on the second piece here, which is pre-act or prepare and act. I'm not saying that we can always predict the next crisis, but we can prepare and act. And we do that through essentially earlier identifying signals, earlier building scenarios with different optionalities so that when something happens, we can choose the right path. And not just have up-to-date data, but increasingly sort of tied to the pulse of the business. And that is what we refer to as active intelligence. And that means much more kind of continuous intelligence based on both data at rest, combining that with your real-time information, your data in motion, and doing really interesting combinations and derivative data of that so that you can operationally monitor the pulse of your business and then trigger the different events based on that pulse, whether that goes to a machine or another human to actually take action on that data. And if you do that, well, then that is enabled by essentially connecting all of these different things, which used to be siloed. We can essentially combine that ability to free more raw data from perhaps only 10% of all of the information that is being utilized to much, much more of it. Find it, making it not just analytics ready, but increasingly business ready, and build a hub where you can sort of increasingly collaborate both on the data, but also on the analytics, enabling action and insights, perhaps even before you've built a dashboard. And then plug all of that into more places so that you can essentially action it in your moments and in your processes. And this is where mere work comes in. Because we've been able to do business process modeling for a very long time. What's interesting now is with technologies like robotic process automation, with embedded analytics, and to no small part because of process mining, we increasingly can put analytics at the center, make those processes as efficient as possible, and even reimagining those processes, and then analytics will actually drive the process rather than vice versa.
I would like to talk a little bit, how can we deal with these capabilities that we have through Qlik's great end-to-end platform with our process mining capabilities, and how this supports customers in getting better processes at the end and make better business decisions to come to real active process intelligence. And what we see is that there at the moment are 3 questions that companies should be able to answer with yes. So the first question is, do you have strong cash flow and a strong balance sheet? And if there are things where you might think about, oh, that could be better, what are the things that could be done? companies and customers have to adapt their businesses and their processes and their business models, their entire business models, to this new situation and to this whole digitalization stuff. And the big question is, how can they measure the success of it? And how can you see what really brings the value to the end customers at the end? And the last thing is your company agile and adaptable? Because what we see at the moment is that companies with the best products in place, they have challenges if their processes are not running resilient and agile, because they are now not able to bring these products to their end customers. So that means there are three directions in which companies need to evolve. On the one hand, business processes must be rethought and redesigned, and the importance of optimizing value creating processes is increasing enormously. And on the other hand, there are new opportunities in the form of data-oriented business models. And this is something companies have stored lots of data in the last years, but they are not able to leverage this data in their business models, in the value of their products. And this is something where we have great opportunities, especially with this Qlik platform in place, to support organizations like that. I'm just thinking about Siemens Healthineers that are using Qlik and process mining to support their customers to understand how the scans are working within their computer tomographs. A really great story. And at the end, we see that resilient processes must ensure that risk assessment and action derivation take effect in time to systematically learn and stay one step ahead. And this is really crucial because we see that companies are facing these challenges, that their processes have some kind of brokenness or have some kind of really gaps, and they weren't seen due to this non-digitalized working. But now everybody is at home and the processes have to run, and with process mining we can discover these gaps in the processes and try to close them. What we are always doing is to try to integrate analytical applications with the existing transactional systems and the new ways of automations that is gaining more and more, like robotic process automations, low-code workflow systems, all that stuff. And with this platform as a service approach, we can bridge this gap between analytical applications and bring this next step of active process intelligence into our customer bases. And that's why our approach is still having an end-to-end platform and an open platform to integrate everything that is existing on our customer bases. Our joint approach is to use everything that is already in place, to combine it in a way that is intelligent and smart. And this is something what I will show in the live demo, to have this active way of supporting processes in an integrated way, in an integrated manner. What you see here is a typical process mining dashboard. We see the key performance indicators on the left side, like the number of purchase order items that we are processing here, the number of process variants, the lead time, so how long does it take to process all these processes, and the automation rate, which is something that is really interesting when you think about the automation potentials and possible automation candidates as well. But on the other hand, we see the as-is processes on the right side. So for all of you who are not that familiar with process mining, we can automatically reconstruct the as-is processes and visualize them within the Qlik platform.